and welcome to the Absolute Guard podcast.
Yes, welcome. This is episode 56. I'm your host, Benny, and as always, I'm joined by my co host, John, who's got a really busy month next month. So we're putting in overtime to get you guys content.
Yes, we are producing content. I'm getting married next month, and pretty much everything is up in the air as far as like my schedule goes, and if I committed to anything in October, it's just a maybe, because who knows what else could happen with the wedding right now.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to ease the burden,
Cheers, yeah.
lessen the stress. So we're gonna try to get some content recorded for you guys in the next couple of weeks to cover the month of October.
Yep. So yeah, today we were talking about what we could possibly do on a Monday show today. We didn't have a guest, and so part of that is what if we record our sets, record our gameplay. We've been doing a lot of talk in the past couple episodes about like mindset and adaptation, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to just talk through like that in real time. So we played a 1st to 5 prior to this episode, and we will be going through that footage. But before that, we have footage that dropped within the last couple hours, in that AKI was I guess like a tutorial guide or a character guide, and it's a 10-minute video. So we're just gonna kind of watch it together and react to it for the first time. Benny and I haven't seen it. We're gonna be pretty willing to pause and stop and do some analysis here and there. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. Ready, Benny?
Yeah, I'm good. Use of alcohol in the
All right, so she combines Snake Fist Kung Fu with Poison Lace Claw attacks, plus irregular movements. Okay, so they're just kind of going through her walk speed there.
Yeah, I think they're just kind of going through everything.
Yep. So she's got these different poison attacks, and looks like each strength does something different. She's got like traps, and she's got ranged attacks and like little leaping things.
Yeah, she's got some. Yeah, it's almost like the nails, like it's like the Fong sleeves, right? Because that's supposed to be her master.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like her motif seems to be like a venom thing, or like a snake, like biting you and poisoning you, right?
Snake, yeah.
Okay, so this is how the poison works. It looks pretty similar to Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, it's
it
not
just
too fast.
Ticks down, yeah.
Yeah, you see your life bar turn purple.
Yeah.
Toxic
now,
Blossom.
That's cool. So they added something new, where not only does the poison like drip down, but it also explodes if you get tagged by it. It's like the retribution mechanic from Gil in Street Fighter 5.
Oh, okay.
So it's almost like... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that bubble, the fireball. I wonder what the kind of the...
Oh,
it's just, you can duck it. Well,
that's handy for me to know. That's it. Ah, okay.
It looks like I can at least slide under it as Dawson, so that's good.
Yeah. So it's treated like a normal projectile.
Yeah.
Okay, so like they just showed us a bunch of Toxic Blossom, like retribution combos.
Ooh.
Okay. And she has throw EX Fireball, Drive Rush behind it.
Yeah, that's been the talk of the town the last couple of weeks too, along with everything else.
Yep. Okay, so big EX Fireball here. Yep, look at that. Throw the EX Fireball, Drive Rush in behind it. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what is it? Nightshade Chaser. Okay.
Yep. Orchid Spring. So these are the traps that we were talking about earlier, right?
Okay, so so there's no hitbox. It's gonna cause you to get poisoned.
Yep.
But then when you're poisoned, then you're susceptible to those additional like the explosion attack. So probably
what's cool is that like what's different than Fong's is the Rio Benda used to be a little trap that he would put on the ground, and if you touched it, it would have a hitbox, right? This one doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if maybe they did that to kind of reduce like the pressure she has. Because I remember with Fong, like that was the thing, right? Like he'd knock you down, then you'd put that down,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like you have to guess whether he's gonna slide, do the slide underneath you.
Yep. And in this game, like it doesn't, it like you can cross. He could slide behind you and stuff, but you have parry, so you can just hold the parry button and ignore all
Yeah.
that, right? There's other things like if it's considered a projectile, then it'll stop wake up level 1 supers, which could create a lot of checkmates, you know.
Ooh.
Never forget to mix in Toxic Blossom opportunities in your offense when your opponent's in the corner. Cool. Serpent Lash, huh? Oh, is this the... Okay,
Ooh,
this is
okay.
the rope dart thing.
It's like Ed.
Yeah. I think it's cool to have a rope dart. I don't even know if that's actually a rope dart, or if it's more like Ivy's thing. Okay, so it's like a...
Basically.
Yeah, mid projectile. Kind of like Luke's fireball, I think.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Seems to be a solid anti-air. That's even the light version. Okay, then this is for the jump, yeah, because the way it angles up, kind of like Dawson's back fierce.
Yeah. That's really
Pretty-
different
it
than
looks-
Fong. Yeah.
It looks pretty fast too.
This is Axel, dude.
Will bring a jumping opponent down or works as an anti-air.
Yeah, wow, okay.
Oh,
Like, I'm seeing this rope dart thing, and it's looking like the centerpiece of the gameplay for me.
yeah.
Which, you know, Fong didn't have a rope dart, so this is... This is
Yeah, he
very
just had
different.
He had the bouncing bubbles and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So he didn't really have like a zoning... Like, he had a zoning game, but it was with projectiles. But here, she can zone with this. The rope dart.
And it closes in.
Yeah. Okay. So then you can also just like leave traps on the ground as they get up after you rope dart them to death.
Oh, this move. Who does she jump like? I'm trying to think of what character it looks like.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, it looks like it's like Jill in Marvel. That's what it looks like. It looks
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you're still at advantage when it's blocked.
Okay. Oh wow, you can combo into it? Okay, okay, so that's like her party starter special attack then. A lot of characters have that. That's gonna be cool.
Oh, grab them and poison them. Okay.
I took this as a hooligan, but it actually looks more like combo fodder now, knowing that you can combo into it after Crouch Fierce.
Yeah, you still have advantage. Even input forward or back to change the distance. Okay, so
You know what?
definitely see like I was gonna say just bait situations.
You know what this character reminds me of in a weird way is Vega. Like Claw.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like like weird ranging, like ways to approach from above that are different than the average character. Ways to
Yeah.
slide through fireballs, slide under fireballs.
Yeah. Oh, the snake step. It looks like so basically like Rashid's thing. Kind of goes under the fireballs.
Yeah.
Can
Okay.
get you behind. Okay, and then perform a feint.
Okay, and this is like Fong's where he could throw her out of it. So that's her escape option or her wake up attack, I think.
Yeah.
Which means she doesn't have a reversal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's cool, but that's like similar to Honda or Marissa.
Yeah. Sinister slide. Oh.
Okay. Cower crouch.
Yeah.
They're all very interesting.
You can cancel it suddenly to surprise foes because that's the one that you can like get off the ground and like
Yep,
yeah,
like that. I agree.
it leaves you very vulnerable with block.
Okay.
Strike.
Jeez. Okay, so that's kind of like the little double legs thing that Fong used to do, right?
Yeah.
And this is a throw. Ah, okay, so it's there to beat parries. They literally showed that to us
Yeah.
with that parry. It's like, okay. All right. New
Get
costume.
the implication. Yeah. So this is the Super One.
Okay, so combo fodder plus wake up attack. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a standard level one. You can Oh, it blossoms them though.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this, it looks like it's invincible because it says useful in burnout. So that one I'm guessing is invincible Super One.
Yeah, I think so. Now we're getting into the cool stuff.
Oh, so
Okay.
that one looks like that looks like a long range punish tool, maybe for fireballs, like yeah, JP stuff from a distance.
And then it leaves that pool up in the like afterwards.
Oh wow. When it's closest to you, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can you can change the distance of it. Yeah. Oh dang.
Yeah, I could see like cornering somebody and then they're just constantly taking that and then you just keep popping them in the air with the toxic blossom. Like right here, like there's nothing they can do. And then you just toxic blossom them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh man.
Okay. I'm putting it together. I'm predicting the video. This is good. Claws of Yazi.
Oh yeah, this is the one that's always in the trailer.
Versatile move and get around projectiles, can be used in combos and serve as a potent counterattack. So standard level 3. It looks like it even goes the same distance.
Launch or immediately after connecting with Serpent Launch. Oh wow.
Yeah, like
That's a cool looking combo.
It's got a ton of juggle points, so like you're good to go. You pretty much always combo into that. Oh.
What? Whoa. This is erase your foe from existence. That's cool. I love the animations in it though. That's awesome. Yeah, she's doing like the whole spider web. What was the girl in Killer Instinct, the one that you played?
Sadira. I forgot about Sadira. Sadira actually had a jumpy stabby move like that. I did play Sadira. I forgot about her. Huh. Okay.
Nice.
Well, that's pretty cool. So how about we watch it again and then just slow down any parts that we thought were really super interesting. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, overall, like, I mean, I don't have any particular interest in her to play her at all. Like, to me, she's just like another matchup to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There seems to be when she initially or the initial trailer released, showing her gameplay. A lot of people seem to be pretty hyped for how she looked.
Yeah. I think the rollout for her was a little interesting. Just because like they only showed the cinematic for the story mode, so there really wasn't any gameplay at Evo. So everyone was kind of like, "Well, that's cool, I guess."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they just had it was just kind of showing her like as the villain and kind of sinister and all that stuff.
Yeah. But I feel like
Oh, okay. So I didn't notice it. It says poison stay will expire naturally, or if she takes damage.
yeah. Okay, so that's identical to Street Fighter 5
Yeah.
Fong poison minus this extra state that they have now. Yeah, it seems like that's the crux of it, right? Is your game plan is get them in the debuff state, pop for big combos, and then run away and reapply the debuff state. Which that seems to be a pretty common archetype. The bubble here looks like is like a zoning tool, right? To keep people to apply that, but it's not really there for combos, I don't think.
Oh, she blows it out. I didn't notice that. That's cool.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing though, that you can detonate it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. So I wonder if the explosion properties of the projectile are the same as the toxic blossom detonation. If it's the same kind of combo, it looks like it.
Yeah. I wonder if
Okay.
you could throw the fireball and then end up. I mean, you should be able to end up behind them, right? If you drive rush and then like do like the heavy version, end up put them in a left right mix up.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, no, I
Yeah. So
mean,
like right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. You could, yeah. Throw the fireball, drive rush behind it, and then do that snake strike thing or the snake slither thing and cross over them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the poison trap isn't really interesting to me. Look how it doesn't really stay for very long.
Yeah.
So it's not really a trap in the same way that Fongs were. And as we talked about earlier, it doesn't have a hitbox on it. But the fact that it
Sweet.
applies that debuff is huge.
Yeah.
I think that's actually like a good change. People like nobody likes fighting against static hitboxes. I say that as somebody with a fireball.
Hey, I love it. I got the three angled fireballs that you gotta work your way
Yeah.
through to get in.
Yeah, this is the scary stuff. The corner is the scary stuff, I think. That's where the poison's going to be on you pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see this the first time. I think we are too busy talking the toxic wreath. So that just looks like to be a proc tool. Like you use that to explode the poison debuff. Oh, it doesn't trigger
Oh,
it. Never mind. It doesn't trigger it. Okay. Oh, okay. So it's like a safe pressure move then. Kind of like a Jinrai
really?
or a or a Hashogeki kind of
Yeah.
something that leaves her kind of negative, but safe.
Yeah, her corner stuff looks cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is Corner Fighter 6.
Yeah, right.
Like I've never been. I mean, I don't know. It's like even in even in 5 I had trouble. I mean, I don't know. I got shimmied like crazy in 5. This game, like, it's a little bit. I don't know. You got more options, but I definitely miss having a reversal. But I mean, that's the life I chose playing sim though.
Yeah. I have comments on that for our sets review because I was thinking about that a little bit while we were playing your like your reversal options and your tech patterns.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so she's got anti-air combos. Yeah, now we're back at the serpent
Yeah.
lash,
So
which
so when you trigger the toxic blossom, does that end the poison?
yeah, so it explodes the
Okay.
poison and then it causes that launcher and then it no longer takes. Well, no, it
Okay.
looks like it reapplies it.
Oh, really?
It looks like it just reapplied it. Good point. I thought it was kind of like retribution, but oh no, it's gone there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like it does go away, but you have opportunities to reapply it during the
Yeah.
combo. Yeah, like okay, see, yeah, so she popped them up and then darted them again to reapply. Okay, so you're gonna be mixing between dart and fireball.
Yeah. That combo looks cool.
Yeah, dude, I'm getting like Axel Low vibes. I was expecting Fong in a projectile based style, but this looks very very different.
Did Sadir have a no? Sadir just had that kind of like double jump thing, right?
Yeah, Sadira
Yeah.
didn't really
Yeah.
play like this, but like
Yeah.
aesthetically for sure she looked like that.
Yeah. No, that
Same
yeah.
with like the hands
It's funny
pointed
seeing
and
that.
stuff. Yeah,
That's Jill right there.
yeah. And like Sadira had a bunch of command jump stuff like that too. Um,
Yeah.
that makes sense. And then you have your hooligan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it looks like the moves are either going to be apply poison or detonate poison, and that's going to be like your game plan is just to find creative ways to poison them and then find creative ways to detonate it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
The jab looks really really good. It looks like it reaches so far.
Yeah. Snake step. Yeah.
I
That
don't
move
really
moves fast.
yeah, I don't really see what that's for. Cuz if she wants to stay away, I guess it's a punish move, so
Yeah.
I guess yeah, like, but she's got a fireball too. That's what's scary about it is that she can throw a fireball to cancel out your projectile, but then she can also just snake step underneath it.
Yeah.
So if you have a fireball, like, too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like like you have the Fireball Wars, and then like you have Super One Stock, like Shinku Hadoken or
Mhm.
Sagat's like Tiger Shot.
Yeah.
Tiger Cannon, that kind of thing. So you get into the fireball war, and then it's all of a sudden like, nope, I'm going underneath.
Yep. And the fact that the EX snake step in particular was throw vulnerable only. Um,
Yeah.
that says a lot of things. Like people are making tier lists regularly, and they're always like, "Do they have a reversal? Then they're S tier. If they don't have a reversal, then they're trash." Right? And this
Yeah.
character, by like, I guess process of elimination, she's doesn't have a reversal like a formal one. She just has one that loses to throw.
What I was just thinking about was like people are gonna cosplay her, right? Especially like the costume too, I think looks really good. But then
Yeah.
like I'm just like visualizing people at like Evo or whatever, like laying on the floor and like slithering.
Oh, jeez. Get like a boogie board or something underneath them so they don't. The
Yeah,
back's
so you're not,
okay.
so you're not sweeping up the floor.
Yeah. The other thing is like if you cosplay this character, like the pose looks like it might give you back problems.
Yeah.
Like just the way she's like twisted and contorted like a snake. She's acting as
Yeah.
if she doesn't have a backbone. So how is somebody with a backbone gonna cosplay her?
Gonna need to get the fake nails too.
Yeah. Good luck opening doors.
Yeah. I think you definitely have to play hitbox at that point, right? Like you can't. Like, it'd be weird to hold a stick with long nails like that.
Can you imagine like having to buy like a stick of gum or something and having to use the touchpad? Enter your pin.
Yeah, her supers look cool. I like that level two. That level two looks really good.
The fact that it hits full screen is pretty strong.
Yeah,
It seems like it's relatively fast, and the fact that it also like makes half the screen a poison mat and it lasts for so long, like that just seems like a win harder move. Like right in this scenario here we have in the corner,
yeah,
because like now they're eating block damage and drive damage and getting poisoned at the same time.
yeah.
I
I'm
think
interested
we
in like how it's gonna work with burnout.
Yeah, they didn't show any of the gauges in this video too, and I think that one of the things that I want to know is like how does poison affect drive? Like if poison is slowly
Oh,
taking down your
yeah,
health, does it increase your drive because you're taking hits? You know?
yeah,
And I get it. Like they don't want to show life bars or anything because like
yeah. They don't want.
then
Yeah, people are
yeah,
gonna
people are
start
going to start
theorizing about
approximating damage.
damage. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep, exactly.
and
Oh,
you
she's top
know,
tier at 60%.
you know, like when we were young in the fighting game community, we were always like really bewildered why developers weren't transparent about what like their balanced decisions, right?
Yeah,
And and including like showing frame data or showing hitboxes or showing damage like in these trailers and stuff. But now I look at the discourse online and I'm like, no wonder they don't tell us shit because everyone
yeah,
just overreacts to
yeah,
everything.
exactly. Like you see patch notes, and all of a sudden it's just like, well, you could just delete this character from the game, and I'm just
Yeah,
like, you didn't even give him a chance yet. Like you don't know
this
why they
character's
did
dead.
certain things. Yeah,
Yep.
I might as well just change mains now. Like way to just doom and gloom it, right?
Yep. But yeah, I don't know. I think that that character looks pretty good, and I will probably give her a shot. I don't think there's a lot of room in my character stable right now to like actually play her, but
Yeah,
um, I don't know. She seems like it seems like I could play her. Like she would fit my style as far as like a zoning, tricksy, move in and out, play
yeah,
weird mid range kind of style. You know?
yeah, yeah. I could see that. I don't know. I'll be in the lab trying to figure out how to deal with her stuff. That's probably going to be the extent of that, other than like doing like the trials and stuff. It's
Yeah.
just kind of labbing like how to deal with her moves and stuff, and seeing what's really punishable.
Yeah, I think on your end, like you're gonna have to figure out how to deal with her approaches, which is probably why I think you focused more on like her movement based moves, and I focused on her like combo based moves, because the
Yeah,
movement based moves are the things you have to watch out for as Sim, right? Because you don't want her getting in
yeah,
on you. Um,
exactly.
and then you have a float too, and the float, like you might be able to stay over that poison and not have to worry too much about it.
Yeah,
Um, but the rope dart, dude, that angled rope dart hits exactly where you float.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like Rashid's tornado. Like
Yeah,
Rashid's tornado from full screen, and like I always want to jump and I want to float in those areas, right, to be able to react to stuff. And it's just like if he's charging up, like I basically have to hope that he charges fully, and then I can teleport and punish him,
yeah.
or I have to. I haven't really been good at it in the matchup, but I basically got to get myself out of the air and just avoid it.
Okay. Well, since we've been talking about sim teleport strats and sim float strats, why don't we go ahead and move to the next segment? Actually, real quick, before I did say that though, um, so you mentioned Rashid earlier, and that got my brain thinking because we haven't really talked a lot about DLC and how it's been handled so far. The
Yeah.
two DLC characters and the future DLC characters in this game. Um, how are you liking the rollout? Like, do you think Rashid and Aki are good characters, good DLC characters? And I say good as just a very like generic loaded term because I'm curious about what you think.
Well, I think it's I don't know. I like the choices that they made for the characters because it's like Rashid and Ed were two new characters in five, right? So the most
Hmm.
recent game, it was like we'll bring back those characters because there's probably a certain fan base for those characters. Then
Sure.
you bring in a brand new character that nobody's ever seen before in Aki, and then of course you got like the classic Akuma, right? I feel like that might be kind of the approach that they take going forward is introduce another new character and then um another classic one and then excuse me mix it in with like a couple whatever Street Fighter 5 Street Fighter 4 characters or whoever like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know, uh I don't have a huge interest in playing. Well, I don't know, I want to try Ed and Akuma. Rashid and Aki, like I zero interest whatsoever. Like they just never interested me in terms of like the design or anything like that. Like I think they're cool characters in terms of like what they look like and how they play. They're pretty unique and different from like kind of the rest of the cast. But like yeah, I just me personally like I just don't have any interest in either one of those.
Okay. Um, I'm on the fence too. Like I haven't even actually played Rashid yet. I think I did like a couple of his trials, but like
Yeah,
most of the I don't really have a ton of interest in Rashid either. Akuma, everyone's gonna try Akuma. He's a Shoto, so that makes him extra accessible,
yeah.
right?
He's the coolest Shoto though, because like
Is
I
he?
mean, I think so. I mean, he's always the one that has the most varied moves. Like everybody always wants to like Kara demon people. Like there's always stuff like that. I'm probably not the best player to use Akuma, but I love playing him because like in the past like I've always played kind of characters with like Honda like the high hit points that kind of thing, right? Give myself multiple chances to kind of screw up and still be in the game. Like if I play Akuma, like I get like two guesses and I'm probably dead, right? And it's just like okay, well maybe I'm not skilled enough to play this character, but like I still have fun playing him. Because I did play him in Cross Tekken. I thought he was really cool in Cross Tekken.
Yeah, he had a lot of cool moves. Like the air fireball was really impressive in Cross. That's
Yeah,
there are questions like that. Like how is he gonna work in the Street Fighter Six engine? Is he gonna have that air fireball? And how potent is that gonna be in a game with parry? Because if you think
yeah,
about it, right, the thing we had to deal with air fireball is like he would throw air fireball and then he would jump, throw the air fireball, and then come in behind it, right? He'd like land
yeah,
behind it, and then he'd be plus, and then you'd have to deal with it. And if you tried to anti-air it, then you're gonna punch a fireball and get hit, and then he's gonna combo you. So
yeah.
it's like,
It's,
but if you have a perfect parry and you perfect parry that fireball, like he's dead.
yeah.
So I don't know.
I
I
know. It
don't
makes
really
me
know how they could
wonder
adapt that.
after looking at Sim right and being able to have two projectiles on screen. I was like, I think they'll limit him, but I was just like, that would be kind of wild if they gave him like the air fireball and then he could throw like regular fireballs too. That'd
Yeah, I
be
mean
kind
they
of
might
nuts.
they might let him like throw a fireball and demon flip behind it. It's
Yeah,
like you can
or you,
already throw a fireball and drive rush behind it.
yeah,
Ken can
exactly.
dragon lash.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was like fireball, drive rush into the like demon flip fireballs, air fireballs.
Yep, yep.
That'll be kind of nuts. But if that happens,
That's the beauty of this game though, is that because it's got the parry in it, they can be as crazy as they want.
yeah,
Cool. And then yeah, like so it's Ed, Rashid, Aki, and um Akuma. So it's only
Yeah.
four too. That's another thing I wanted to ask you is four the right number for what you paid for the season pass, or do you think because in the past in Street Fighter Five it was like five characters every season.
Yeah. No,
So
I think 4 is good. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do in terms of their, like, release schedule now because at first it seemed like it was gonna be every 3 months, but then I think Aki's coming, like, a month earlier than expected.
yeah,
So, I'm wondering if that timing is due to, like, Capcom Cup and trying to have, like, a little bit of time before Capcom Cup starts instead of kinda being like, "Oh, Akuma's releasing," and then, 2 weeks later, it's Capcom Cup.
yeah.
Right, or something like that. So, maybe that would be a reason for, like, the kinda the accelerated timeline than what people expected.
There's a lot of like things around the timing for Aki in particular. Because with Rashid, we were still riding high off the launch of the game, and everyone was like, I
Mhm.
remember when he came out, I'm like, I barely even know the other new characters that joined the game since the betas, and it's like I so it just kind of it was cool, but like it wasn't as it's different now where now the game's aged a little bit and there's less news coming out for the game every day, really. Like there's
Yeah,
no new tournament announcements or anything, or like they're not going to announce Capcom Cup 2024 or anything in the near future.
yeah.
And I saw some discussion about Aki on Twitter of like, has anyone, have people forgotten about her? A lot of people, I think,
Mm.
because it's been a month since Evo, right? Um,
Yeah,
and I think about how different that is from when Street Fighter V's seasons were announced and they would show the characters and whatnot. People would be talking about them for a good couple months. And
yeah,
I think it's like a testament to just how quickly like the news cycle, for lack of a better phrase, moves for the fighting game community nowadays.
yeah. Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, that's true. I mean, and then you gotta think about too, 'cause, like, this is kinda like the down period for, like, majors nowadays, right? Like, before, like, with the offline events and the offline premieres and stuff, right? Like, there was basically, like, a huge tournament every month. And now we're with the 3 major ones, right? The Combo Breaker, CEO, and then Evo, and those are all basically in the kind of the first half of the year, really. And then the period from kinda, I guess, end of July now after Evo, and then going forward, like, there's events that are going on, but they're not on the scale of those 3 major events.
yeah. And
So,
there's like a dead marketing period right now too because Mortal Kombat just came out, which I'm sure we're gonna end up talking with some folks about Mortal Kombat at some point. Mortal
yeah.
Kombat One rather. So maybe that's why it's that no one's talking about Street Fighter right now because the literal like the behemoth of fighting games, Mortal Kombat, just dropped a new entry.
Yeah.
Um,
I've seen a lot
but
of broken stuff in Twitter with that. Like, I was semi interested in kinda maybe buying it, but, like, I don't know, this I'm playing Street Fighter 6 a lot more than I personally expected. Like,
yeah,
I'm not even, like, Starfield came out, like, I didn't I loaded that up. I'm not really super interested in playing in that. Like, there's nothing really, like, grasping my attention. Like, I know some of our friends are playing, like, Sea of Stars. I'm not a big turn-based RPG guy, so that doesn't it looks cool, but it's like I'm more prone to kind of watch my kids play that and watch them enjoy they enjoy this type of game. So I'd rather just kind of watch and kind of say, "Hey, what's going on with this game?" than to play
sure,
it myself. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm in the ranked grind and I'm, in the lab and just trying to kind of add a little bit here and there to my game all the time because, like, I feel like I've improved a ton probably in the last month, but at the same time, like, I feel there's so much left on the table that I haven't even, like, scratched the surface with yet. So, I don't know, it's just like I don't really see it as like a kinda daunting task. It's more like I just have a lot of room for improvement, and I just look at it as like I just I'm not trying to overwhelm myself. I think I talked about that before, and it's just like just trying to add little bit things here and there and try to recognize situations where, you know, I could have killed this person. I could have killed the character at this point looking at my meter. Like I'll lose a game, right? Or I lose a set. And I'm like, am I already immediately like thinking like I could have killed right there if I did this instead? And I'll go in the training mode and I'll load, I'll record the same situation. And I was just like, I should have done this instead,
Mm.
and I would have won, right?
Yeah.
Like there was like I played a Honda earlier, and I was waiting for like Sumo Smash to come out, right? I was ready to anti-air, and I back fierced. I got the punish counter, and all I had to do was like Yoga Flame, or I could have even supered at that point and juggled from there, and I would have won the game. But instead, all I did was the back fierce, and then I kind of like stood around, and then I got Sumo Smashed again, and I lost. And I was just like, I should have done this instead. Like I had to get like the game was won already, but I wasn't prepared for that situation.
Yeah, I think that's actually I am not remotely surprised that you've gotten so good in the past couple months, in this past month in particular, because of like analyses like that, where you're like, you know what, I have this problem that I need to that I have gone back and looked at my replays. I found that there is a problem here that needs to be solved. I will now go and solve that problem in training mode. It's a very like um what's the word, meticulous. It's a way of like you can break it down into smaller pieces and then and approach it
Yeah,
slowly like that with building blocks, right? And I think that that methodology, I didn't really have that until Marvel. I think about it,
yeah,
Marvel 3, where like because when I played 4, I remember I was just kind of just trying to memorize setups, but I wasn't really memorizing like moves, and not moves in the
yeah,
traditional sense of like a special attack or a normal attack. But I'm talking about like, oh, like this block string is really good, or I use air legs for blowing up a throw tech now, or I have a fuzzy jump setup, a fuzzy guard setup after a safe jump. Like those like little like chunks that you can just add to your portfolio and add to your gameplay. And the
mhm,
only way that you can determine what like small bits to add is to do exactly what you did and go into training mode and then figure out what is most important. And the best way to figure that out is if you lose to it, because that means it's pretty important, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, part of that I think is like we've talked about it like before the launch and everything, like kind of the freedom of expression this game gives you with the drive rush and being able to kind of do what you want, right? In terms of like combo structure or kind of mixing things up, and it's like I mean, especially me playing Honda in 4, like I didn't FADC, like, that was one mix-up that you would FADC would be hands FADC, Ochio, and that's
Yeah.
it. Like, I didn't have any other freedom of expression in that game, like, I didn't I played Ryu, but it's like, I wasn't I wasn't doing FADC combos or anything cute like that. I was, EXDPs or EX Tatsus and stuff like that. Like, it wasn't anything, super elaborate with me with that game. And then even in 5, like, uh I didn't have anything like that with Dhalsim. Like I had setups and stuff that I learned, or uh, things of that nature. But in this game, it's just like you really have to kind of uh, recognize like your meter situation.
Mm.
And like I
Yep.
remember, yeah, you were discussing that with Mike in terms of like I always try to have 3 bars so that if I need it, I can I won't burn myself out, but I have access to everything that I have access to this if I need it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's something that I'm slowly kind of getting used to. Like there's been so many situations like early on where I was just like I'd get a like a drive impact or a stun in the corner, and like I wasn't sure what to do, or I would just do like the most basic thing that came to mind. I was like, I'll just do raw super. And it's little pieces like that where like even like Scott would be like, just do whatever fierce special and then super.
Mhm.
And that's something that I've been doing now. And it's it seems like real kind of basic and kind of, I guess, kind of second nature kind of things. But when you got
It's when you have to add
so
it
many
all
things going
together.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. When you have all
Yeah.
those pieces together, like there's certain things like I add something, and then like there's something that I kind of forget that I even have access to until somebody brings it up again.
Yep.
Like when we were playing in that the last World Warrior tournament, Thrasher was just like, I was playing a jury, he's like, "Oh, you have that headbutt teleport thing." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." And like I hadn't used it in like so many matches that I'd played. Like I just completely forgot that I had access to it.
Yep. No, I feel you. Since we're talking game theory right now, why don't we? I'm gonna go ahead and just hit play on the video for our first to 5 set here, and we can talk about little pieces of it here and there, but I'm down to just talk theory in general if you see something that that stands out.
Yeah.
Uh, So just to set the stage here, we ran a first to five prior to the show, and I played Luke, and Benny played Dalsum. It was a very interesting set for me because my only experience playing Luke was in the demo against Ryu. So I was like, okay, I could play this mid-range game. I know how to do like low strong drive rush into the big like wall bounce combo and put you in the corner. And I was like, yeah, I can just get Sim there and I'll be fine. But the
Yeah.
problem is that we didn't fight at mid range because you're Dulce. So if I crouch strong, that button that Luke's best button, really, I didn't really get a chance to use it very much because we weren't playing footsies, really.
Yeah.
um, so like I think this like early on in the set, like I think I start with like showing that I do know how to play this character, and then I can abuse like basic stuff that I've learned with Ken, which is just like
Yeah.
do big combo, get them to the corner, and then throw loop them or jump at them and
Yeah.
until they die. And that's basically the game plan with Luke right now. And it seems like I like for me at least, I was having a hard time chasing you down. So then I just started jumping at you like crazy.
Yeah.
How did you approach the matchup at first, like when you first started
Uh,
playing it?
well, usually like when I play against League players, like I like I try to see like what they want to do in kind of like the mid range or the start, right? Because some
Yeah,
people like will just jump in, some people will just go back and sandblast, which
which is what I did.
of yeah, of all the fireballs, I think his is one of the most problematic for me because it's fast, right? It
Okay.
doesn't have it doesn't linger on the screen, right? Like Chun Li's is a problem because it kind of just lingers there, and then like it'll hit me out of the float, and I get juggled, that kind of thing, right? This
Yeah.
is more like on par almost with like DJs in terms of like the speed and like reacting to it or just getting out of its way. So I usually end up trying to just float over it and then try to occupy that horizontal space with the comet because the way that you're going to get in is usually the drive rush, right?
Yeah.
Once because you're not going to sit back there and sandblast all day unless I'm just getting destroyed by that.
Yeah, I'm just
But
asking
usually
for a
that's not the
teleport.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah. So unless that person gets impatient, like usually I'm fine. Like you want to throw sandblast, okay, I'll sit back here and we'll just toss fireballs all day.
And yeah, like that actually crossed my mind where I was like, my fireballs are really not very useful and in the same way that I was like, oh, Luke's mid range is going to be great and he's really oppressive, which is how I approach the matchup. It sucks fighting in mid range, but the other thing I always think about is how his fireball just beats most other fireballs because of how fast it is.
Yeah.
But because of that, it's not on the screen for very long, and then when you float over it, you can kind of do whatever you want afterwards, which is different
Yeah.
than how it was with Chun, where if I got a fireball out, yeah, you could float over it, but you'd have to figure out where to come down. And
Exactly.
with Luke, you don't really care about where you come down because you can do
Yeah.
it at any time.
Yeah,
So
so I mean, at this point, like, yeah, I was kind of just that first round, like, I felt like I kind of just got cornered, and like I didn't do well in the corner. Like, I mean, that's
yeah,
typical. So
that's Street Fighter 6. Yeah,
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 yeah, that I got put in the corner, and like I didn't guess right, so that's fine. Like, I was like, okay, that's fine.
yep. And then this is a point here where I think like throughout the matches I was constantly using drive meter to stay in on you, and I like right here
Yeah.
I just burned like 6 bars in a row on drive rushes and stuff like that. And like so I'm always burned out for these first couple games here, these first couple rounds, and I think you
Yeah.
slowly like you figured out like immediately, actually you figured out immediately how to punish that, and you drive impacted me and stunned me and stuff in round one.
Yeah. Yeah, that round should have been done like 20 seconds ago if I had done the the stun combo correctly.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm actually kind of just running through like my scrub playbook here. Sorry, I can't talk. Where like, okay, so my mid range wasn't there, so then I started jumping at you over and over again, and then that didn't work, so I started drive rushing at you over and over again, and then that didn't work, so now I'm drive impacting constantly, and that has worked a little bit, but we know how that turned out. Because
Yeah.
even actually, no, I'll take that back. I just started doing it, but you've already countered it, like right here. Like you just
Yeah.
level 3'd me for it.
Yeah,
and I
so part
lost
of
the
that
game.
I
Yeah.
I think is because I recently built my new stick, the 4TW from Johnny Fraze,
Oh,
and
yeah. Okay.
I think that's helped out a lot because the layout that I got wasn't the traditional. Because I'm usually I think they usually call it like the Hori 2 player or 1 player. Like I have like the kind of the angled like ergonomic eight button style,
Okay.
and I chose to go with he calls it the six god, and basically like so my three middle fingers are will control all the middle six buttons, and then my thumb and my pinky rest on either side. Or the buttons are basically perfectly placed to like for where my thumb and my pinky rest,
Okay.
and I think that's helped me a lot because I put parry where my thumb is at, and then impact is basically resting kind of like in the middle of my pinky and not like on my fingertips. So like when I
Oh,
see it,
okay.
like it's just literally like kind of like a turn of my wrist, right? Instead of like I gotta press this button.
That
So
is
it's like I
something
see it, yeah,
that's something that I did want to compliment you on earlier and later on in the set is that like you were using parry way more than I'm used to seeing you use parry, and
yeah,
now I have an understanding of why. It's that it's more accessible to you now, huh?
yeah. Because like yeah, no, before like I was doing like pressing the medium buttons. I was trying to do it that way,
Yeah.
and like I'm still getting used to kind of leaving my hands in like a flat rested position because I have access to everything now if I just keep my hand there. Like I
Yeah.
still kind of naturally kind of move my hands, but uh I'm gradually getting to the point to where like I realize like I don't have to move my hands at all. Like my hand is where it needs to be.
Let me ask you, when you played Honda in Street Fighter 4, how did you do your hands? Did you slide or did you piano?
uh I did slide at some points, but I had a real weird way of doing it, which I basically like triple tap jab and then I would double tap heavy. And like
Okay.
it wasn't the best thing for like execution
It
wise and
wasn't.
like
But
yeah. I mean you
okay.
could definitely tell like I was it wasn't something that was like consistent. Like you watch like Mr. SNK or anybody else that played Honda and it was just like jab hands was like, it was second nature.
Yeah.
And like I could just never get used to like doing piano. Like it just I don't know, my hands just never did it correctly.
So the reason why I even asked that in the first place is like that means you're probably more accustomed to having like moving your hand around on the buttons pretty regularly because you're sliding, you're like getting up, or you're like lifting your
Yeah.
hands up and then trying to piano or the triple tap jab, right? You have to move your hand up to get to it or something. Um,
Yeah.
I I definitely had to learn that too, like how to keep my hand like stationary from playing
Yeah.
Zero in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because I just had to hold Buster all the time, and it was worth it. I played the best
Oh.
character in the game, but and that was a part of the reason why he was the best character in the game. But from then on, like I always wanted to play like kind of like Blaze Blue style. Blaze Blue had that same kind of deal where it was just four buttons, if I recall correctly.
Mhm.
Um, and you wouldn't have to move your hand. You just have to jump your thumb on one button and then three fingers on the other attack buttons.
Yeah. Yeah, so I definitely like yeah, in terms of like yeah, the parries, like the parry thing that's something like I've been gradually trying to add to just in terms of like um gaining meter back because that's been a big thing too cuz like a lot of times I've been burning meter to EX fireball or to
Mhm.
EX comet in the air because uh the main thing with the EX comet in the air is it allows me to do another move. Like it allows me to teleport, it allows me to drill down, it allows me to mummy if I need to, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Whereas if I do like the normal fireball, I can't do that. Or I can teleport too, right? If
right.
I do the normal fireball, I can't do it. I'm basically stuck in recovery until I land. So I save a lot of meter for that, or I use a lot of meter on that for mobility reasons.
Just to get the EX fireball out there, basically.
Well, yeah, because it causes people, especially like in like the burnout situations, right? Like it has a really big hitbox. The comet does. So
Yeah.
it's like from full screen, if I do it correctly, it'll hit you in your toes and it'll cause chip damage. So a
Yep.
lot of people will jump out of it or jump away from it, and then I use at that point I can basically kind of react to what I'm seeing or what you're doing. because it's like
Yeah,
I
whether
throw that
mobile
out
or
there, and
something, right?
it's like, oh, he jumped back. Okay, I'm gonna teleport in, and I'll roundhouse or I'll jump medium. I can hit them in the air at the same time.
Well, the fireball covers you.
Yeah, or
Okay.
yeah, it gives me a safer approach.
Okay. Um.
That or I've been trying it to like I've been using it to try to like bait out supers because like at the right height, you know, I'll throw it out there, and a lot of people like, oh, I'm gonna super, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna teleport. It was almost like that very first game. Like I was supposed to get a teleport there when you supered, and I would have had a
Ah.
clean kill, but I think I did something that caused myself to like air fireball or do something else.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I'm looking at it from my perspective here at this point where I'm already out of ideas. We're like on game 3, I think, and I don't know what else to attack with Luke yet. I think I was at
Yeah,
this point. I think I was experimenting with, um, like you see how I opened with an uppercut in the beginning right there, right? That wasn't an input
yeah,
error. That was like, hey, he is floating constantly and I can't do anything about that yet. So I wanted to see like what could work. So I was like, if I just DP, am I gonna catch him like floating and then coming down with a button or something from half screen? The answer is
yeah,
no. But I did start trying to experiment with the tackle around this time, I think. Um,
yeah,
and I pretty quickly realized that it didn't work. I got a couple lucky hits on it, if I recall correctly, but
yeah,
nothing great. So then I just went back to my normal like. From then on, I think the rest of the set was just me rotating between jumping, drive impact, drive rush, and then the cartwheel sometimes, or the run cartwheel. Yeah, that thing, the shoulder.
yeah.
Um, and to varying degrees of success because the DI could be countered. I could get anti-aired. My drive rush could get stuffed. You know, you found an answer for pretty much everything I had. So I always find it interesting at this point in sets where it's like, okay, so eventually somebody loops back to their original options, and the other person
Yeah,
has a deeper like it's whoever has deeper pockets at that point, right? Who has more
yeah.
stuff they can throw out. Um, so I was out of options at this point, and I was like, okay, I'll go back to step 1 and start jumping at him again. Um, Not a good look. You can even see with this DI right here. I went for a DI again because I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I played a Luke earlier today that was giving me problems because like um a lot of them like to use the it's a target combo, it's like the forward medium or the forward heavies, and then they cancel it into
Sandblast.
his no, the punch, the like the charge
Oh,
punch.
yeah. Flash
Yeah, and
knuckle.
that was causing me problems. Yeah, yeah, the flash knuckle, yeah. That was causing me a lot of problems because I didn't know how to deal with it. Like I was saying, like I'm not the typical person that like go in the lab, but like with the replays and being able to see the frame data and stuff, like I started looking at stuff and I was just like, oh, this is the third punch is like negative whatever, and if he cancels the into the flash knuckle, like it basically gives me an I think I found like I can crouch medium in between it and hit it clean almost every time.
Oh,
So yeah, I was finding stuff earlier because like I got frustrated playing a guy that just when I was in burnout, he just took me to the wall doing that same string over and over.
oh, yeah. I could see that. Because yeah, I think heavy flash knuckles positive if they charges it up all the way, right? And then in
Yeah.
burnout, it's like extra positive.
Yeah,
Um,
so yeah, so from what I found, I think in every situation I can crouch medium it. I was trying other buttons, but that seemed to be the best one was the crouch medium punch, the one that extends out. It
yeah,
would catch him clean and then like um I could like super on the counter hit or whatever from there.
yeah. You know, the answer to the Luke would do to that is they would just cancel into something else, like a sandblast or something instead, and
Yeah, yeah.
that might catch your counter attack.
Yeah.
A lot of times, what I see the Japanese do is they'll block the block string from Luke, and then the moment the cancel is about to happen, they hit parry. And so if he
Mhm.
cancels into fireball, then it'll perfect parry, and then they can punish him. And if it's
Yeah.
anything else, then you'll just parry like normal because he'll be negative. And if it's the
Okay.
if it unless it's the heavy charge one, in which case you got to do something more risky, like what you propose, like throw out a slide or something, or crouch medium.
Yeah.
That's something that I want to actually practice a lot in my matchup when Chun versus Luke. Is I need to practice like 1, 2, 3 parry fireball, uh, perfect parry fireball immediately into a button because you can option select it.
Yeah. Oh, that situation, like, that I thought that was pretty cool. Like, I love when, because you were in burnout in the corner.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah. So at that point, like, yeah, I've been getting better at trying at dealing with those situations and kind of like keeping people there.
Yeah,
That or teleporting in and like at that point using like the if I had meter to drive impact them and basically get myself in that way.
yeah. I think as the set went on too, and I did corner you a fair amount of times still. I had difficulty predicting on like what you were going to do on wake up. Um, like you do not ever tech on wake up, which is something that I started with trying to bait, and so I quickly moved on to something else. But
Mm,
you would wake up blocking and then wait and jump regularly, and I could not find an answer with that for Luke. With Chun, I have an answer. I just do air legs, but with Luke, it's
yeah,
like how do you that's what we call a fuzzy jump, right? Where you block first and then you jump out, so that way if they do like a delayed throw or something, you'll be out of the throw. Um,
yeah.
so the answer to that is usually to do big delayed heavy button or something. But I wasn't
Mm,
comfortable doing that against you because then you started waking up jab more as well. Um,
yeah.
so I found that to be like you had like multiple complementary defensive options that you rotated between that kept me guessing and made my corner game a little bit less potent.
Yeah, that the thing that I don't know, the thing that's always been killing me lately is kind of just like the it's still like the shimmy because like I don't have a good answer for that a lot of times from what I can tell. Cuz like, typically it's supposed to be like the wake up low forward, right? And Sim has that as a low, but it doesn't reach very far. So
Uh,
that's why I have problems like especially with like jury, right? If you can like or even Cammy, like if you can walk back far enough to where that doesn't
yeah.
even touch you, like then I have no answers for that.
Well, this game's well, that's not true. In my opinion, this game's interesting where everybody seems to be coming up with like really risky defensive options. Like wake up jump is a thing in this game, right? Wake up jump was
Yeah.
not a thing in 4 and 5. In 5,
Yeah.
maybe, but not really, not nearly as bad as it is in 6. And in 4, you didn't wake up jumping because half the time they were safe jump mediating you anyway. Um,
Yeah.
and so all that to say is that because wake up jump beats throw, because you can't be thrown while you're jumping, right? People have
Yeah,
started
yeah.
doing like wake up dive kick or wake up
Mhm.
air legs or wake up. So wake up jury does wake up jump strong into dive kick. Cammy does wake up dive kick. Chun does wake up air legs. And then Dalsum does wake up float regularly. He does wake up yoga drill.
Yeah, like the
Um,
roundhouse drill, yeah, or
yeah,
even teleport. And like I usually use it to try to get out. Like we were discussing that before in terms of like I just want out of the corner a lot of the times, right? Like I don't necessarily want to do damage. I'm not trying to like necessarily take my turn back, right? Or force my turn. It's more
yeah,
just I'm in the corner. I want to get the hell out of here.
yeah,
And like so yeah, a lot of times those jumps are more like or you'll see me like jump really high and
yeah,
then EX fireball or EX comet and then kind of make a decision from there. Because most of the time, like I don't know, against Cammy, like that doesn't really work because like her DP is super fast. But then some of the other characters, like it really kind of messes with people's timing because people are so used to kind of like reacting to to teleports.
yeah.
So it's just like if I do it high enough, and depending on the button that I press, I can cause them to whiff, and then I make the decision from there,
Okay.
and and I escape that way.
I guess yeah, like the example I was talking about with wake up drill. That's like, hey, they are going for the throw, and it's not only do I not like, not only do you want to get out, you want to punish them, and
Hmm.
that's like the hardest read. I also see a lot of Sims do wake up mummy and a teleport because the
Yeah, that's
mummy
that's
has like
that's a,
huge teleport block stun, right? Or block
yeah,
stun, and then they teleport behind it and they're out of the corner.
yeah. I need
Si-
to do that more because I don't. That was the thing that Thrasher was telling me about. He's just like He's like, yeah, I see a lot of Dawsons use this, and like I don't do that enough.
Yeah, so that's your answer to shimmy though, right? Because if they shimmy
Yeah,
backwards, then they're just gonna block your drill, right?
yeah,
So then it's still your turn. So no matter what, you win.
yeah,
I don't think anybody should ever be shimmying Dalsum because he doesn't have a. Well, actually, he's got the level 2, which is interesting.
yeah,
Because you mentioned earlier, right, when Mike brought it up, that usually we don't burn meter if we have 3 or less, right?
hmm
And a lot of that's to keep our options available to us.
yeah,
But the characters that Mike and I play both have invincible reversals, DPs, right?
yeah,
So that's part of why we keep the 3 bars. You do
yeah. So you
not
have
have
access
a
to that. Yeah,
right, and you do not have one of those. So one could make the case that you could drop down to 1 or 2 if you wanted to, right? It's not a hard and
yeah,
fast rule because what else are you going to use that bar for anyway?
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So your value proposition might be different depending on the character and the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely like yeah, depending, especially like if I feel comfortable like in the mid range and long range game
Yeah.
against a certain player, like I don't have a problem burning out. Like I feel like I can, that I mean that's exactly what I want, right? Is like I want the damage, and then I want them away from me, and then at that point, like they still got to fight their way back in.
Yep.
So like I'll do that a lot against like Zangief players or Lily or whatever. Get them off me, take all the damage I can get, and then just be like, all right, find your way back in.
Yep. Oh yeah. Speaking of Zangief and Lily, both those characters also have wake up jumping moves. They both can do wake up SPD, but they do
Mm.
Tiger Knee SPD, so that way they're in the middle of their jump frame, so they cannot be thrown out of their SPD.
Oh, okay.
And then Jamie has wake up dive kick. Like a lot of characters have like wake up thing to beat throw. And
Yeah.
it's high risk but extremely high reward. Like I've won entire matches off of a wake up air legs because someone went for a throw loop. Um, and that's the thing I've been working on the most with Chun. But just for those who have been watching on video, I've actually already looped around because we only had a first to 5, and Benny took the set 5-3. That was the end result against my Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall I learned a lot about the matchup. I had to kind of start from the beginning as far as like how do I deal with float first, and then how do I deal with your wake up options. And for each time I found an answer for that, you found a different one. So if I started beating your float, then you started throwing more fireballs to keep me from exercising those options to beat the float.
Yeah.
You started waking up jabbing a lot more. You countered the vast majority of my DIs, and so I kind of ran out of ways to approach you, which is I think the ideal sim game, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, there was a set that I played earlier against a modern Chun Li. I actually uploaded it to YouTube. I wanted you to watch it
oh yeah.
because I don't know what she like. I forget what she's missing in modern, but I basically almost lost the set, and then I had to make like these kind of huge adjustments because I was kind of rattled in terms of like them basically blowing up my float with like DPs constantly. Like I just kept on getting hit out of the air. So actually,
Oh
hold on, maybe I'll send
yeah.
you the link.
Yeah, do you want to send it to me? And we can totally just watch it on the show again. We're already doing enough replay and a trailer analysis on this episode. What's one more,
Yeah,
right?
so let me see. Yeah, let me find it here. And then yeah, because it was I don't know. I've been like I said, I usually local record all my stuff, and then like I'll delete pretty much all of it, and I'll take clips here and there and post that on like my Instagram or whatever. And then the
Yeah.
rest of the time, it's kind of like um, I kind of just look at the move, or look at the reason that I lost, and then just kind of make a mental note and like, or maybe like I said, like even go into the lab sometimes and be like, oh, let me go look at this, or how do I deal with this, or what would have been the better option for me in this situation? Like, could I have converted into like a kill combo?
Okay. Yeah. Let's let the benefit of hindsight take us through this here. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna get it all set up here, and I'll stream it on the Discord for you to see. Oh, you fought Mattel? Oh, I know this
Oh,
guy.
oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, he's a good chum player. He's really good. I didn't know he was trying modern out. That's awesome.
Okay,
Cool.
well, maybe you'll see something new.
All right, here we go. But yeah,
Yeah,
modern
'cause-
Chun is the new hotness, man.
yeah, I saw the almost 1600, so I was just like, oh, you got to be doing something right to get there.
Yep. So same deal. That's another thing I learned from our sets is that float just basically dodges drive impact.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's the normal
yeah,
setup. Yep, there's that air legs.
yeah. You have real good answers with your Chun Li, so it's just like whenever I fight one, I'm just kind of like it's a lot of it's like knowledge check. Like, what are they doing when I do this? And it's just like for him, he was like, yeah, it was this. It was constant. Like, okay, I'm getting hit out of the air by uh by
Yeah.
DP all the time.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna rewind it briefly here. So in this instance, like do you think
That was
actually
more
it's not right
panic.
there.
Like at that point, I was just frustrated. Oh, talking about the
Right
DI
here, right
or
here, right here. Yeah, here. Yeah, this. So he does drive like your half screen. He does drive rush and then DP. Could you have teleported there instead of done the jumping heavy punch?
I
Is that enough
made.
time?
I think that maybe that's what I was doing later. I don't know. You see.
Oh, okay. I'll rewind it then. But
Yeah.
basically, like that's a risk from the Chun Li perspective. I'm like, if I'm trying to anti-air her, Dalsum rather, and he teleports and my DP whiffs, I'm dead. And
Yeah.
so, like, it might behoove you to like float and then teleport backwards every now and then just to make him doubt the that instant uppercut in modern.
Oh, okay.
Like right there. Instead of doing jump fierce. Oh, there you go. So you kind of had a like right there. So Benny did jumping roundhouse instead, landed really quickly, and then punished the uppercut because it whiffed. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you're doing stuff like that. So just finding ways to get that modern uppercut to whiff seems to be the way I like to do it, at least. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. See there you go.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cause
so
see, I
you
was looking
figured it out.
for situations. Yeah. He should have been dead here, and then I screwed up.
Yeah, man.
That's why.
that is a that. Those are the Benny combos. And anytime you get a stun, I see you drop a lot of those. Oh, mix up.
Nah,
You're
I thought he
mashing.
dropped something. I was because I figured like at that point like he's gonna drop the combo, so I don't know why he stopped.
Did he drop or was it a bait? I wonder.
Because I thought he could level 3 right there because he had level 3. Because you could level 3 from the legs, right?
Let me look. Look where he's at here. All right. So combo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I should have
yeah,
been
he
dead
dropped
right. I
it.
should
He
have.
dropped it.
Yeah, I should have been dead right there. Yeah.
Yeah, he meant to cancel, but he dropped it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no reason to do that right there, especially because he burned
Yeah.
himself out doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, at that point, I was just mashing because I was like, if you drop it, then this is gonna come through, and then like it came through, and I was just like, wait, he still had time to block.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
So
So that
it's
I should have.
one
Yeah, I should
one.
have been. No, it's 1-0.
Oh, yeah, he
So he
beat you
took
the
that
first
first
game.
game because I messed up the stun combo.
Yeah, so you're already doing that. Yeah, you're floating and you're teleporting backwards just to bait the uppercut now. Yep, there it is. There it is. Yeah. I see you. I see you. Okay. So now he's like
Yeah.
blowing a ton of drive meter, doing drive rush and parry and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get him to. I noticed that he liked to use meter a lot, so I was trying to burn him out.
Yeah. Yeah, Chun in modern loses very little, to be honest.
Oh,
She
really?
loses her high low game, which in a game with parry that doesn't matter as much. Oh, burnout. You got him? Oh, you didn't get him.
Yeah. See, at
That's
this
the only
point, like,
thing.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was the
you.
that was the modern thing because I played a
Yep.
modern Luke, a modern Ryu, and that happens every time, and I'm just like, I got to stop doing that.
Yep. Yeah,
So at
you
that
can't go
point,
for
at
that.
this point, I was kind of like, okay, I can't do that, and I should have known better already.
Yep. Yeah, this gets into that conversation about whether or not modern is fair, and it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have done that
Yeah.
because of all this. Like, you've gotten all this extra damage by baiting that uppercut, so it's kind of like, oh, perfect parry. Okay, it kind of balances itself out. Like, look how many like bad uppercuts he's thrown.
Yeah. See, that's what I was waiting. That's what I was. I mean, I
Yeah,
still was getting hit here and there, but for the most part, it was like that's what I was trying to get out because I
yeah.
was like, oh, he's gonna do it like every time.
I could tell you that one of the things I think you should work on the most and this is figuring out how to punish a DP really hard.
Yeah, yeah. See, that situation there too. They should have been dead if I recognized.
Yeah.
because I did the crouch fierce, and if I drive versus crouch fierce again, they're dead.
Yep.
But I didn't do anything.
Yep. Yeah, or even like crouch fierce in a yoga flame, like it's cool, but like what's your punish here? Nothing. On a whip DP, right?
Yeah,
And it's like you you could end the game in 3 guesses, but instead you made it take 5. And it's like in the
yeah,
span of those 2 guesses, he could kill you.
yeah. I mean, at this point, like I was kind of like just I was trying to do normal jumps just so I could react because like if I jump float, like that's a recovery, right? Like I have to wait before I could do something.
Sure.
Yeah, that was a panic. Like,
Yeah. I get it. You don't have a ton of options on wake up, so
yeah, at this point, I wasn't too worried about getting out because he didn't have drive meter to stun me. So I was like, let me just get the hell out of there.
yep. Oh, big punish. Oh no, big drop. Are you dead for that? You're dead for that. Does he? Oh, he can't. He can't kill you because he's modern. Oh, Oh, good. That's a smart thing. Waking up with DI. So what Benny did was
Yeah,
his opponent had no health, and so he DI'd. His opponent counter DI'd, didn't have the health to take it, and died for it. So that was good.
yeah. I was basically playing on hoping that they would react because I do that shit all the time too. Like when I
Yeah.
got no life, it's just like your natural reaction after playing this game so much. You're just like, oh, I got to DI back. I'm like, oh wait,
My only concern is that if you're playing against a modern player, then the likelihood that they will super to react to it and blow it up instead is way higher.
yeah. Well, yeah, but see that again. That was the meter recognition because I noticed that he didn't have any meter, he didn't have any drive. So I
Oh yeah,
was
he
like,
didn't have any super meter, huh? Yeah.
yeah, he didn't have any super. So I was like, okay, well, unless he's gonna legs or I guess maybe spinning bird kick could do it. I don't know.
Yeah. So what goes through your head when you decide you want to yoga dive kick in? So like
What do you
a
mean?
lot of times like you're jumping backwards and then every now and then you jump back and drill in. So like
It's more like trying to see the spacing
okay.
because like if I'm not at the right spacing, like it's not gonna be safe. So like I'm trying to hit as low as possible and then
Mm.
making sure that I'm in a good spot to do it.
So if the spacing is right, well would you say that you do it every time?
Yeah, usually because then I could even reaction DI because a lot of people will when you see me like
Yes,
do it at the wrong spacing, I'm hitting the middle or I'm hitting high, and then you DI like that's free. Like I can't do anything about that.
I see.
But if I hit low enough, then like yeah, I recover in time to react back to it.
Yeah. Oh, air throw. That was fortunate. Yeah, so you hit him with a wake up level 3 there, which is big mucho damage.
Yeah, I was worried about super at this point. Like that's what I was trying to avoid.
Oh yeah, because he's got level 3, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I
And then
got lucky because like
scramble
yeah,
and a jab. Yeah.
that was like my best option at that point.
Yeah, totally. No, I get it. Yeah, that's the Dalsum way, man. Is like because of his floaty jump or his float state, he air resets at really weird heights and he recovers at really weird heights, and that's why people like they uh they get confused when that happens. But yeah, I mean, it looked like you played pretty well against him. The big thing was that uppercut was annoying, but you found the counter to it right away.
Yeah, it was rattling me pretty hard because like you could see like I was getting frustrated and like I panicked DI because I was just like, you know what, let me just throw this out there, and then he reacted and I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, like he's in my head right now. I gotta figure something else out.
And sometimes like when you're looking at those matches, it's healthy just to take one lesson away and that's it, rather than overwhelm yourself with all these different things. And I would say that like the crux of the game was whether or not you could bait the DP or not,
Yeah,
because that was his main game plan, was just to keep you out of the sky. And then once you
yeah,
took the DP away from him, like it was pretty straightforward. So
yeah,
if the answer is to do what you were doing but do it better, then the better way is to make sure that it really really hurts when he's
yeah,
when he whiffs a DP. And from there you can, that's that there's your problem statement. I have a I need to I blocked a DP, I need to punish with it. What are my permutations for combos, and then you think about, do I want to burn an EX? Do I want to burn a drive rush? Do I want to burn one
Yeah.
super? Do I want to burn two supers? Probably not with Sim. You probably only want to end with one super. Is the
Yeah.
spacing weird on it? Am I only going to get a jab or something, and I have to do a jab DRC combo? Like, because yeah, like when you bait the DP, who knows if you're going to have 3 bars, or 5, or 1, right? You might have to do a
Yeah.
meterless punish.
Yeah. That's true.
So I would learn 3 combos. I would learn one with that's meterless. I would learn one that burns an EX bar, and then one that burns a DRC. And then that's your
Yeah.
DP punishes that are universal across most characters.
Okay.
And
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
the beauty of this game too is that because it's a punish counter and not a crush counter like it was in 5, that works for anything. So if you learn, like, say your combo starts off a crouch fierce or back fierce, right?
Yeah.
And what is that, like 13 frame startup or something, right?
Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
From then on, you now know that any supers or moves or anything like that that leave people at -13, you can just use that combo now because it's a punish counter combo.
Yeah.
And so versus in 5 where you'd have to like have a special, I block the reversal, I'm going to crush counter you and do a combo. You can
Yeah.
reuse those 3 combos that I mentioned earlier. You can reuse those anywhere.
Yeah.
Just as like your crouch fierce starter or your back fierce starter.
Okay. Yeah,
So just
typically, like, yeah, a lot of the punishes, like, especially like from teleport, because I find myself like at distance is like starting with the roundhouse, and then sometimes I got a bird meter to get in,
yeah.
but that's something that I think I've been implementing a lot better than before. Because before, like, it would be like stand roundhouse and then another stand roundhouse, just as like a normal 2 hit, like, yeah, like a meterless combo from long range. Like, that's pretty much like the best thing I can do.
Well, cool. This is a really unique episode for us. I think that
Yeah.
I wanted to try to capture some of that, like when people talk about like why they like the local community. Like I was listening to our episode with Ernest last night, or it was like a couple nights ago. I was listening to it, and
Mhm.
he mentioned that, like, as salty as people get, whether you play top tier, bottom tier, whatever, at the end of the day, everybody goes to their IHOP or Cane's or Denny's or whatever FGC tradition there is, and they all go back and talk, like, you spend late hours into the night talking about the game. And I wanted to see if we could capture some of that magic on the podcast, and the best way to do that is to play a set and talk it through.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, that's good. Like, I mean, you're even in 5, like, I was always kind of amazed, like, because you would just kind of jump from character to character, and then you were like, well, everybody's got to kind of base this, like, medium this into that,
yeah,
and V trigger or whatever, and like I was always kind of like uh envious of you just kind of being able to like just play different characters. So, like, even like your base Luke, like, you had enough to kind of probably get you through to master, but then then you got to start developing more stuff.
yeah. I would hit a wall as soon as I hit master, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's I would honestly credit that to my software engineering background. Um, like I for people who don't know me, I write code for a living, and I've done that for about 13 years now.
Mm.
And I've worked a lot of different jobs throughout my career. And every time I start a new job, I get put into a new code base, and so you have to learn all the different rules, whether they're like business processes or the architecture of the code, and you have to kind of break it apart and see what parts you can reuse and what parts you can't reuse, parts that are specific to this particular application, but other parts that are maybe used universally. And so then that applies to fighting games really well, because you can be like, well, everybody has a 3-frame jab or a 4-frame jab. That's a universal thing.
Yeah.
Everybody has the same wake up speed, or tech timing, which is different than other games. And in this
Mhm.
game, everybody has a similar combo route too, where you can do everybody's got a special move party starter that does something awesome. And like if you combo a crouch fierce or a heavy fierce or a back fierce into that big ass thing, it's usually got like a wall bounce or some kind of launcher or something
Yeah.
really big, right? And then you can kind of work backwards from there and be like, how do I get to get to that big thing. Like when we were watching Aki earlier, we were like, oh, the EX jump thing that the jump stab thing that she has, right? We now know that she can combo Crouch Fierce into that jumpy stab thing. So now let's think about like drive rush combos that can result in us landing that Crouch Fierce. And so there's a lot of like building blocks that you're kind of like trying to put together and unique patterns and ways to solve a unique problems, like specific problems to the business or to the whatever your code's trying to solve. So I just take that same avenue, and it's a lot of it's just like reading API documentation and understanding how the systems work. In the same way, I just try to break down the fighting game and like think about frames and think about mechanics or meter gain. And then I just go from there. A very long-winded explanation. Apologies. Oh man.
My cat woke up.
Very cool. Very cool. Any shout outs on the way out here, Benny?
No, man, that was good. That was a fun set. Yeah, I mean, even like the most basic Luke's, Hondas, Ken's, like they've given me trouble. Like it doesn't matter. Like I kind of take the approach like I don't look at people's MR or their rank and just kind of assume like, oh, this guy's not good. He's at 1300 MR. I like look at the character and I'm just like, man, it's a Ken, right? And I'm like, oh man, it's a Luke, and like everybody's got their own kind of different approach to how they're gonna play or how they want to spend their meter, and it's like that's part of the beauty of fighting games is like figuring out what somebody likes to do and making those adjustments because like that modern set like I said like it that person they really got into my head like kind of just blowing up everything that I was trying to do and I was just like I gotta figure a way around this
Mhm.
and to make those adjustments and then to actually like see like that portion of their game taken away because eventually they stopped doing it as much and I was just like okay it's because I'm blowing it up now and like you said like the the next level of where I need to go with that is to really push the damage to the point to where it's just like all right now I could probably take away that option a lot earlier if I show that part or
Yeah.
I'm able to show them like hey you can't do this or you're gonna get this right
Yeah. There's a point where like the damage spikes so high that it actually starts to appeal to emotion instead, and you can scare someone into not wanting to do something again because it's like I don't want to eat 33%. You know?
yeah exactly yeah you see that visual you see that bar disappear like like when I play Marissa or character like that and I'm just like oh that was a bad move and like I just see my life bar deplete I'm just like okay like the next sequence I'm dead like I probably shouldn't do what I did last time. I need to fix that.
Yep. Yep. Well, cool. Let us know, audience, if you're interested in more episodes like this. This is, kind of like why I'm in the fighting game community. Is I love having constructive conversations after sets, and driving that towards mastery of this genre. So,
Yeah.
you can find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/Spiral Series, YouTube at youtube.com/Spiral Series, and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify under Absolute Guard. To all you watching and listening, we'll catch you next time. Take care.
Later, guys.